Or a couple months ago, actually, I suffered from headaches for a little while now, and no doctor's really been able to explain why. They wanted to do an MRI of my optical nerve because I had been noticing that the right side of my face had been drooping. It kind of came on suddenly, but was happening progressively over time, and nobody could really tell me why. And when we moved to Portland, I was going to the chiropractor addressing the headache, and she, for the first time ever, said, well, I'm going to adjust your palate. I'm going to work inside of your palate. And in doing so, she discovered that I had some real jaw issues and that my tongue was not reaching my mouth. And she was going on and on about how I needed to go and see Dr. M. When I came here, Dr. M, on the first visit, was able to explain to me for the very first time in layman's terms why my face was falling, that it had to do specifically with the architecture of my mouth, and that she could help me out with an orthotic, which I thought sounded fabulous. It made perfect sense to me since I'd had hip surgery and dealt with bones and issues and my body being kind of imbalanced. And the fact that it was on the lower jaw and was going to realign my jaw just made perfect sense to me because I had just had so many problems with my ear, my face on that side falling, my jaw being very tight in the morning, tooth grinding, so many things since getting this orthotic placed have completely dissipated. I haven't had a headache since I got it in. The first thing I noticed was just the looseness and just the smoothness in my jaw, even in the morning. I'm not grinding at night, and I think even if I was closing tightly, the jaw's closing in such a way that my jaw feels free. I'm feeling my ear draining, and I'm noticing some muscle changes happening in the face. I think there's still work that has to happen, but I am noticing big difference and a lot of changes that are going on. So I'm just kind of excited to see the progression of it.
How long have you had your orthotic?
It's just been 2 weeks, actually.
Just 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks, and I think that's why I say just the beginning of the changes, because the very first thing I noticed was just the smoothness in the way that my jaw was operating. And also, I forgot to mention, my tongue for the first time was finding its place in the top of my mouth, which has been interesting because the tongue is telling me a lot about more work that needs to happen, but it's actually reaching the top of the tongue in a way that it wasn't previously, and it's actually calming me down. I'm not sure the science behind that, but it's working. When I'm resting, my tongue reaches the roof of my mouth, and I just feel like things are back in working order where they're supposed to be. Yeah.
How often do you have the orthotic in your mouth?
Honestly, I can't take it out.
Mm-hmm.
There was maybe a really small adjustment period, 3 days, I think, where it was, just felt tight. I've had braces. It was maybe as similar to an adjustment on the braces. And it, I knew what it was going to do for me, and I was so anxious to have relief that I just kept it in. And by the end of that first week, I just got in the habit of keeping it. I sleep with it. I eat with it. I don't take it out when I chew because actually it's really awkward now when I take it out.
How? In what way is it awkward?
It feels like my upper jaw is completely diving over my lower jaw, and I'm afraid it feels like I'm contorting my face, which is exactly what was happening. So it just feels so natural and comfortable to chew in this position that I can't take it out anymore.
Can you take it in and out so we can see?
Okay. So I don't have any polydent on it right now,
yeah.
but it just smoothly comes in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I can use my tongue to remove it, and then it just clips right back in. Same on this side.
Can you show us your profile with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then take it out? And
Yep.
Nice.
So there's the profile.
Yeah, your jaw collapses a little bit and retracts. Yeah.
Yeah, another thing that I had noticed was I thought I was getting a double chin. I was attributing this all to aging, and that's because of the retraction of the jaw. When you pulled it forward, I immediately noticed my jawline return.
Nice.
And just, I think that had a lot to do also with my ear.
Mm-hmm. Draining, yes.
Draining, yeah.
Because the jaw was not jamming in your ear with
Yes.
retraction.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
also yawning. I had actually been to the doctor about chronic yawning. No explanations for that. But
Nice.
I think a lot of it was just the obstructed airway, as
Mhm.
well as so many things were related to my mouth. Of all things, I would have never known.
Yeah. Have you tried other appliances like night guards before?
Yes,
Mhm.
so I've gone to the doctor. I've actually had problems with tooth grinding probably my whole life.
Mhm.
And I think it had to do with my TMJ, which was underdiagnosed when I was a child, and then got veneers, got braces, had some tooth work done, and they gave me a night guard because my grinding picked up again. And I believe what had actually happened was the veneers and the work that was done on the mouth fixed some problems but created others, in that it wasn't leaving enough room for my tongue. And it was pushing my jaw even further back. So the night guard was just actually creating less room in my mouth at night and maybe making me grind harder, but at least, they were protected by the night guard, but wasn't solving the actual
Mhm.
problem. It was just alleviating a symptom.
So in the past 2 weeks, you've noticed that the grinding has improved.
I don't think I'm grinding
Wow,
at night.
that's really nice. Mhm.
I wake, and the only way I can explain it is my jaw feels lubricated. It feels very smooth, and I mean, I would wake every morning. I would dread waking because my jaw would just be so tight, and it
Mhm.
would just cause me such fatigue. And I was chronically, all day I would be massaging my jawline, and not really understanding the technicalities of what was going on. No
Mhm.
doctor would have gone there, and the dentist certainly never mentioned anything to me previously about my jaw positioning. So
Plus, the night guard only protected your teeth at night, and then during the day when you function, your jaw would retract because you had to grind on your teeth to chew food, correct?
exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of like having a cast on a broken leg, but only wearing it at night and then taking it off during the day and functioning.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
I'm an educator actually, so I was talking
Mhm.
all day, every day, and just was chronically exhausted, just fatigued. I think a lot of it was coming from what was happening with my jaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like wearing one high heel shoe and one flat. You
Yeah.
know, when one part of your body is out of alignment,
Yeah.
then it affects everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your case, it was your jaw. Yeah,
Right.
so it was affecting everything else, your malalignment. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I really felt that the discrepancy between the left and the right sides, they were two different stories, and the
Mhm.
orthotic showed that in every way. They were
Yes.
completely different shapes and sizes,
Exactly.
and I just had never really paid much attention to the fact that one side was far more worn and
Yeah.
fallen than the other.
And that's the beauty of these segmented orthotics, because they're small in the mouth.
Mhm.
They give you tongue space, but then they can compensate for the side that you're collapsed more. So one side is slightly, I don't think that shows much in your mouth. It's just probably by a small amount.
Mm.
Can you smile and show us the orthotic in your mouth? Open a
Can't
little
see
bit.
it very well.
Oh, no, it doesn't show much, yeah. So you're wearing two segments in the back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It actually makes the tooth line a little clearer.
Yeah.
My teeth were kind of bowing inward, and these have shifted upright. and-
That's why the veneers were done, right? Because the inward
yes.
tilting, before you
That-
came to us, yeah.
I only had the upper done, and
Mhm.
obviously because he was a cosmetic dentist, he was there to make my smile look good.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out why after the $20,000 smile, my face still looked so crooked.
Oh,
I thought, well, the teeth look nice, but I don't know why I didn't think about that
Yeah.
fact that it was not going to adjust my jaw. I didn't know
Yeah.
the full scope of the work that needed to be done, and neither did he. That was
Yeah.
the best part, is he was just doing what he was trained to do. He didn't realize that there were larger things that needed to be addressed. So.
Definitely. That went beyond just the teeth. It was more into jaw alignment and orthopedics of your head and neck.
Yes.
You know, and that's why your craniosacral chiropractor picked up on it and sent you to us.